Okay, so for the sides, I would highly recommend that you butt block the sides together first, then cut them out, and that way you can have your sides nearly perfectly matched. I didn't do that, so I'm going to have to do some extra work when I butt block them together. There's any number of ways to build a boat, any number of methods. What you think is simpler turns out not to be so simple. Again, for those of you who bought the plans, I issued a correction in the plans. For station 13, it should be 3/4 of an inch from the baseline, not 1.5 inches. Okay, so on to the sides of the boat. It's much simpler. Again, look at the plans, you'll see what I'm talking about, and then mark. Okay, you're gonna do the same thing for the other end of the plywood. You need to do this for both pieces because we're gonna take 2 pieces of plywood and butt block them together. Okay, the next step is to mark with our chalk line. Do that for each mark every 18 inches on both pieces of plywood. If you notice in the plans, I'll have a straight line, then it kind of goes zigzag and then comes back straight. That marks the midships and just a page turn. Okay, so this is the rear of the vessel. Back of the transom is going to come in 3 inches. You'll notice with the chalk, sometimes it doesn't come to the very end. Just take your square, finish it on out, good to go. So you're going to measure from the very outside edge here to the 3-inch mark here. Make a mark. Do the same to the other side. For the bow, study the plans carefully because we have that curve coming out. First, start by marking off the stations in 1-foot intervals as per the plans. Okay, station 12 is here. That's where you're going to start your curve. On station 13, the mark comes 1.5 inches. Again, for those of you who bought the plans, I issued a correction in the plans. For station 13, it should be 3/4 of an inch from the baseline, not 1.5 inches. All right, again, station 14, 3 inches. Just do the math if you're starting with 30 or whatever, you know. Always consult the plans. The bow looks a lot like the transom, only about half the size here. Okay. I guess you could call this station 15.5 or something, but it's 3 inches from the station 16, and that's where we're going to make our final mark, 9 inches from the center here. All right. And then 9 here. Now you just connect the dots. We need to make a correction in the plans. For station 13, we need to come up 3/4 of an inch instead of 1.5 inches. So basically half the, sometimes things don't translate from paper to the real thing. That's why I'm wanting to tell you guys. So now we can go from that to there. Now that's more like it. And if you make a mistake, just cross out. The hardest thing is getting everything matched up, and check it out. See you.